Susan and the band. And let's stay in this consciousness of prayer now as we begin our service. And let's take a deep breath in and feel this connection. Feel the energy of oneness, knowing that we are all here, an expression of God. And as we enter into this holy space, as we enter into this awareness, let's shine our light of wisdom, guidance, and strength, our love of harmony, balance, and bringing together everyone in this understanding of oneness. Feel it lifting us up here in this sacred space, connecting with those who are joining us virtually, because we are all one in consciousness, and sending this light and love out into our community and out into our country, especially lifting, strengthening, holding in love, empowering that presence of hope and strength to all of those that have been impacted by the hurricane. We know we are one, and this is a moment in time for us to lift together in prayer. Prayer is the energy that changes everything. And we continue to hold this light and love and send it out into our world, embracing all who are in pain and suffering, all beings, and including our planet Earth. And for this we are so very grateful, and so it is. Amen. And we're going to stay in this space of consciousness, of oneness and love and strength as we bless our prayer requests, knowing there are no needs in God, that the needs are the avenue that turns us to God. And so we just hold this and affirm this truth that I am one, and I have within me everything I need, all the strength, all the peace, all the joy and zeal to lift me and propel me forward in this day, in this life. And for this I am so very grateful, and so it is. Amen. And we are a prayer ministry. Unity is a prayer ministry, and you can send us your prayer requests. You can email them to us, or you can just mail them in. We have a really powerful prayer ministry here, a prayer team, where we respond to your prayers and we hold those prayers for you. And then it's sent to Silent Unity, where they are continued to be held in prayer for another 30 days, 24/7. And we have prayer chaplains here with you that are available to pray. We have Peggy, who led our meditation this morning, and we have Nancy and Clara, Betty and Pat. So we have, like I said, a really, and Al just joined our prayer ministry. So we have a powerful prayer ministry because we know and affirm right here and now that prayer works. That prayer works because everything is energy. Everything is energy, and what we do with prayer is we remove our attention from the problems, and we focus on connecting with that divine nature. And so the healing begins because we start vibrating together, and that is how we change. And so it is. Amen. So good morning, everyone. And I do want to just address this hurricane that really moved through the islands and onto Florida, because I don't know about you, but it's certainly been holding my attention, just the kind of the shock of it. Bob and I were living in Fort Myers up until 2 years ago when we came here. So, and my sister still lives in Naples. So we have family and friends in that area that was impacted. And we have been in those areas, you know, so to see it just completely gone is kind of breathtaking. And it makes me go back to thinking about certain things, you know. Whenever there are these shocking moments that usually are life-altering moments, and it's devastation, it could be an act of violence, it could be death, all of those things that just are almost too powerful. I say they take my breath away, you know, those kind of moments. They're, like I said before, there are no needs in God. So what is this about? I have heard people saying in those moments things like, how can this happen? How can God allow something like this to happen? And I think for me, what it comes to is that it demonstrates something else altogether. What I have heard through talking to some of my friends that are in the Florida area and reading some of the posts from some of them, there is this energy of coming together. It's a demonstration of love. People reaching out to each other, how can I help you? You heard stories of people swimming to rescue someone, you know, doing all of those kind of things. And to me, all of life's unexpected moments that can have the opportunity to knock us down hold within them the opportunity to lift us to a place that we didn't even know we could go. How we come together in this energy of love. And that is what I'm sensing and feeling from this whole experience. It doesn't mean that my heart isn't broken looking at this devastation, not just with Florida. We know that you know, Puerto Rico, Cuba, there are other areas that this you know, the coast of Carolina, you know, our very own backyard has been impacted by this. So I just wanted to address that because I think it's just too new and raw still. You know, just holding that and everyone that's been impacted in this consciousness of love, strength, peace, hope. And with that being said, where are we with our service here? I have to refocus my brain. Okay, well, we have an opportunity, and I was thinking about this too as I was kind of stepping into the talk, and our talk today is going to be on Zeal. And so here I've just been talking about, you know, and we've all been kind of witnessing more of something that kind of sucks the zeal out, right? It's like, whoa. So what a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to kind of look at how we can use some of these the powers that are within us. And to say it is okay. It is okay in the moment of devastation to express joy. It is okay in the moment of pain and suffering to lift with zeal, because this is still energy. And we want to put all of this positive energy into motion. And so we're celebrating being here together today. And we have a couple of things that we have introduced. The first is, I want to encourage everyone, if you have a prayer request or you have a good news that you want to share, let me know before the service starts, because we're going to add that to our morning routine. And then we also have this wonderful moment to greet each other, which we're going to do right now.
Take a look at the person next to you.
Look at the person next to you.
Say, I recognize the God in you.
I recognize the God in you.
I feel the love in the sanctuary.
Feel love in the sanctuary.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
everybody. We're still meeting and greeting. This is an organization without support. Am I right? This is an organization with support. This is Jeff's and my prosperity plant. Jeff loves this plant. He feeds it, he waters it, it's in a great sunny spot. He does this weird salt thing to it. I don't know what on earth he does, but look at it. Prosperous. Beautiful. Jeff's baby. An organization with support. Now, this is what UCR's 3G automatic giving program, the first prong in our prosperity plan, is all about. It is about sustainability and life, health, and growth. So I am up here, Laura and I are up here to encourage you to give to our 3G automatic giving program, to participate in it. And there are 3 good reasons you want to do this. We've been doing it for, golly, decades? I mean, many, many years. Close. 3 good reasons. Number 1, the 3G giving program, Give Green with Grace, is convenient and easy. This is the way most of us are paying our bills anyway, right? Automatic debit, bank withdrawals to pay our cable bills and our mortgages, etc. Easy, you don't have to think about it anymore. You set it up, you can adjust it however you want. Perfect. Number 2, it is green. So nice. No more paper. No more forgetting rats, the checkbook, or the cash to give in church on Sundays. Not a problem. No more wasting stamps. It's good for the planet when you give automatically in this way. And the third reason you want to participate in this is because it is wonderful. When you're not in church on Sundays, your tithe or love offering is when you participate in this program. It's a way to give to your source of spiritual nourishment, your church family, your church home, when you're not here. We know I travel. I go down to New Bern to see my mom pretty often. Not a problem. My tithe is always here at church when I'm gone. I don't have to forget and go, oh my gosh, I could have had a V8. Oh my gosh, I should have brought that check. I forgot that cash. Well, I'll do it next time. No, don't need to. All I do is the 3G giving program. Perfect. So 3 good reasons. And now I'm going to turn it over to Laura. I've told you why. She's going to tell you how. She is the treasurer of the UCR board and a bookkeeping professional. So she's got it. Go ahead.
Thank you, Melanie. So yeah, I work in accounting, so I get to cover the boring stuff. This is the how. In your form, when you fill it out, you fill out your personal information, and then you can choose to have your 3G, your tithing taken out of your bank account, or you can use a debit or credit card. And all the information that you need to fill in is on the inside of our form. And I will say, I have been participating in this program since the very beginning with the bank draft from my checking account. And there has never been an issue with my data being stolen or lost. I've had credit cards numbers stolen and used, as most of us have. Never affected my bank drafts that I've had set up for years. And especially during COVID and my health issues last year, when I wasn't physically here in church, I knew I could still support my church in the way that I always have by having my bank draft set up. And so I just want to ditto to everything Melanie said. It's been my experience with it, and I'd be glad to answer any questions about after the service about the 3G giving. And this is a flexible program. You can choose to donate once a month, twice a month, weekly, whatever your needs are. Once you set it up, if you find things change and maybe your income changes and you need to increase your tithe, just let Louise know in the office, and it's an easy change. So I just wanted to stress again how easy this is to help support our church. So thank you.
And I'm going to give Laura these forms. If anybody wants one, raise your hand, and she'll give you one as I put the plants back, and we make room for Nancy. Nancy? I like my dead plant, too, I have to say.
Well, the first time I saw Melanie do that, I got up to remove the plant because I thought, how can we be talking about prosperity with this dead plant?
I said, Nancy, wait, you're destroying my metaphor.
So yes, the look of the dead plant didn't sit well with me. Good morning, everybody. We greet you in the name of Jesus Christ and the warm and loving spirit of Unity Church of Raleigh. In Unity, we welcome everyone and honor the God of your understanding. We bless all churches and spiritual groups throughout the world because we all know we are sons and daughters of the same loving Creator. We welcome everyone. My name is Nancy, platform leader for today, and our guest speaker is our own Reverend Ellen. And she'll be talking about Zeal, which we'll talk more about later. Let's set our intention for today by affirming our statement of faith together, please. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life and affairs, God the Good. Now it's time for some music. I'm glad you guys didn't go away. You just stayed right here. Greg, Susan, Peggy, and Alan, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. So we're talking about zeal, but and this was just kind of a zealous song that I thought, it's not the right words, but anyway, we'll do it.
Sure they are.
2, 3. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone all the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, it's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. 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 Thank you.
Thank thank you, Susan and the band. I think that was the absolute perfect song. I can see. Bright, sunshiny day. Thank you. Welcome day. Okay, so we're going to be talking about harnessing your zeal. And like I said before, I think it's the perfect power to focus on today. And as we know, Charles Fillmore, he individualized these powers for us. They really don't work so separately. It's energy, and we know that energy just kind of flows, and there's different places where things come together. But he did this so that we could really get to understand these different attributes, these different divine abilities that are inherent within us. And so when we start to process all of this, and one of the things that I love about what Charles Fillmore did, he was influenced by the transcendental meditation, movement that was coming through at that time. He focused on Eastern spirituality, and he integrated it with his own Christianity. And so it's kind of, to me, like looking at wisdom, truth from this big, wide perspective, and zeroing in on all of these qualities for us to take advantage of. And so one of the things that he does as we go forward here, let's see, you'd think I would know this by now. Okay, here we go. So with our power of zeal, if you just look at this picture, that's the energy of zeal. That's the energy of zeal. He refers to it, Charles Fillmore refers to it as this inner fire that ignites us, that flows out from us. That's the quality of zeal. And the other thing that he talks about with zeal is that it is this ability to be enthusiastic and passionate, as well as to inspire and motivate oneself. So probably some of you think that, there are moments in time when I feel less than this, like fire in my belly, right? Fire kind of pulling me forward. And so that's one of the things that's so wonderful about these different abilities when we focus on it, because we get an opportunity to understand it. We get an opportunity to kind of then see how do I express it? How do I connect to this energy? And that's the process that we're going to be looking at today. Understanding what is zeal, and then taking it right into the practical part of how do I connect with that. And he talks about a couple of different things, and one of the things that I love is that here in this particular, with the power, we get to see all those aspects I just spoke about before. So we get to see his Christian background when he looks at the disciples. So he gives a disciple for each one of the powers. And Simon the Zealot comes with zeal. Now, Simon was actually a member of a Jewish sect called Zealots. And what they were is they were actually a revolutionary group that wanted to they were looking for a Messiah of this present time to overthrow the Roman government because of all the taxation, and they associated that with slavery and things like that. And so Simon was extremely caught up in the zeal, right? The fire in his belly. He had this zeal inside of him. And what we get to see in the example of Simon is that was coming from his mind, from the human part, right? I want to overthrow the Romans. I want to, change everything, looking out. When he was introduced to Jesus, to the message, to the disciples, he was transformed, like all of them were. He left what he was committed to, and he became gentle. He became present, but he did not lose his zeal. It was just directed in a different way. It was directed in a way that was focused on his mission, on spiritual teachings. And he followed Jesus and was present in a very zealous fashion, focusing on spiritual principles of truth. And that's just a perfect example right there of how we too can look at zeal. And we see here, very obviously, the color orange. And again, if you're thinking of a fire and the flame, we see orange in the fire and the flame, right? So it's kind of natural that we would think of orange. But it goes even more than that, because colors have an aura to them. And colors also affect us emotionally and psychologically, right? We know, we hear things like, oh, I'm most comfortable with a cool palette. I'm drawn to certain colors, right? Aren't we all kind of drawn to, who's got a favorite color here, right? We all can sit down probably and say, this is my favorite color. Maybe you've got one or two, but orange represents passion, creativity, big energy. This is orange. And one of the things in looking at this, what I didn't realize before, but I was looking and researching spiritual qualities of orange, and one of the things that they were talking about is that orange can be used actually to lift depression. It's an energy that vibrates, and because of the passion, because of the intensity of it, it's able to lift. It's connected to zeal. And what happens when we feel this zeal? It's a passion that lifts us. It propels us. And so it's also located at the medulla oblongata, which is at the brain stem, and that is also the receiving place for the cosmic energy. I'm going to stop here because we have a wonderful gift to offer you. Sherry Gaines is going to, Stacy Page is out of town, and Sherry Gaines has gracefully accepted to step in. So she's going to now lead us in a yoga pose so that we can connect our mind, body, and spirit to this energy of zeal. And then at the end of the talk, she's going to lead us in the meditation as well. Sherry, you want to come up?
Thank you, Ellen. I found everything orange in my closet to wear today. I actually love the color. I've been developing a fondness for orange over the last couple of decades of my life, so here we are. And I just wanted to add a couple of things to what Ellen has already introduced about this power and its location, going along with the colors, the color vibration, and how we relate to color. And a lot of you may already know this. I'll just throw this in the pot, though. But in addition to orange being sort of an antidepressant, uplifting color, so are the aromatherapy fragrances of orange, tangerine. A lot of you are shaking your head. You already know this. You work with it. But if you want to diffuse or use that as an aromatherapy tool for you, you can diffuse some in your bath, in your home anyway. But I love to keep all of the citrus fragrances around for when I get in those moods where, okay, so anyway, but orange and tangerine and even grapefruit and lemon and all those citrus fragrances are fantastic to brighten our spirit. So you've got a break today. I'm actually going to lead us in a yoga breathing practice that is hopefully going to get us a little more zealous today. And I have a real fondness also of sharing the breathing practices because they're not always, you always see people wrapping their legs around their head on yoga magazines. Well, we don't do that here. But this practice is actually called, this breathing practice is called, I'm going to do two things. We're going to do a breathing practice, and then we're going to do a quick acupressure stimulation of the base of the brain. So this is called the bellows breath, And all of us in this room are of a certain age to remember bellows probably when you had the bellows by the fireplace. Well, what does that do? It adds oxygen to the flame, which, yes. So I want you to do this very gently because this is a more deep breathing practice, and I don't want anybody passing out on us in here today. Let me demonstrate it, and I want you to do it, moderately today, unless you're a real practiced breather, and then go for it. So the bellows breath is an even breathing technique. The inhale and the exhale are basically the same force, the same emphasis. And we're going to add our arms with this to pump a little bit. So let me demonstrate before you join me, because we're going to do, I would invite you to stand up if you can stand. If not, just stay right where you are. Please, either way. But standing is going to bring us a little more into our body because our feet are going to be nice and connected to the earth. So here's the demonstration. As we inhale, we're going to bring the arms up. And as we exhale, we just curl them into little fists and bring them down. So one more demonstration. Now stop. Now, look around, be careful you don't hit your neighbor. We're going to go forward. We're going to inhale out and back. And another, up and down. Three more, forward and back. And stop. And sit down, please. Now, you might feel slightly lightheaded, but I hope you feel a little more awake and alive. Conscious deep breathing is one of the most amazing tools for changing our chemistry and our attitude and our thoughts. It's right there. It's right there. Just do it with a little common sense. But if you really get practiced at this, you're going to start going, and you're not going to pass out. So you can fan your flame. We always start gently and easily, and then we work up to deeper breathing. It's really going to wake you up a little bit. Okay, thank you for that. Y'all are great breathers. I could hear it. We were all in synchrony, synchronized breathing. It was wonderful. So the second offering to embody this quality of zeal today is something I offered in the acupressure workshop that I did a few months ago. And I'm going to have us take our thumbs, and I'm going to turn around. What we're going to do is there's right on either side of the spinal column, which ends at the medulla oblongata. It sits right on top of it. There's little hollows at the base of your skull. If you just put your thumbs there, you can feel those little soft spots just under the base of the skull. Put your thumbs there. Let your fingers rest on the back of your head. Okay, got that? Now, inhale, doing nothing. And as you exhale, just gently tip your head back into the pressure of your thumbs. We're not really forcing, we're just letting the head press into the thumbs, and that puts a little bit of activating pressure in these two little hollows. And then just breathe normally. And tip your head up forward again and release your hands. Great. Now, real quick, I always look at Nancy when I talk about Chinese medicine. I'm like, oh, I hope Nancy approves of what I say. But anyway, these are called, in my acupressure book, gates of consciousness. Gates of consciousness. And think about that. Think about the medulla sitting right on top of the spinal column where the energy flows up and down our chakras. And when you're doing this, you're actually putting a little activating pressure into those points. And when you release, you've got this energetic flow. It's almost like cutting off the flow so that when you open the gate, the energy can flow right on through. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sherry. Don't you love incorporating those same things that Charles Fillmore went for, such as the transcendental meditations? We embrace meditation here all the time. how important it is. Our just the whole chakra, the Eastern ideas of how energy flows in through our body, and our Christian heritage. And it's also beautifully incorporated in these powers. Thank you so much, Sherry. Oh, okay. So let's jump in. Oops. Let's jump in. I even have a red dot. You'd think I could look at the red dot. Okay, here we go. Charles Fillmore, in The Revealing Word, tells us that zeal is the inward fire of the soul that urges man onward, regardless of the intellectual mind of caution and conservation. And there was just, I loved this idea that it's the inward fire of the soul. Because like I said before, these powers create a path for our soul's transformation, for us to connect to our our divine nature. And as he's talking about this zeal, so we've been saying that zeal is there, it's just an innate quality. We don't have to do anything. Zeal is present. Well, I shouldn't say we don't have to do anything. We do have to do something. What do we have to do? We have to become awake and aware. Isn't that always our first step? And if we think about it, how could it not be? Because without being awake and aware of the fact that we have these qualities, without getting in touch with what are they, how can I access them? So to be awake and aware gives us the ability to choose, gives us the ability to recognize and to connect with those qualities. So zeal is this energy that is already present, and even if we start to feel, as he says here, the intellectual mind. So what he's talking about is that human part of us, right? That's the intellectual mind, where we might want to be a little bit cautious or concerned. How many here have ever had a situation where you wanted to do something, but it's kind of was coming up inside of your heart? I'll use that. It was moving within you. You had an urge to do something, a desire, and yet you were a little cautious, a little conservative, a little bit, dare I say, fearful that, oh my goodness, can I let this go? And that is what we're being invited into. Not to just come from being reckless, not just to come from those places. And to be honest with you, it's a journey. It certainly was for me. I identify with the power of zeal. Most of you probably have already picked up on the fact that I have a lot of energy and big enthusiasm, and I love thinking about big ideas. Let's do this. All right, I was talking to a friend of mine who knows me very well, and I was talking about, we're doing the power of zeal, and I said, that's one of the qualities I've always identified with, and I said to her, you remember, and I think there's enough of us in here that might remember this, the Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland movies? How many of us remember those? Well, I always used to say, I'm like the person who says, let's put on a play. We've got the barn. We can grab the stage people. We can put them up there. We can sell the tickets. We'll have a show. And so that is zeal that perhaps may need to be a little bit more directed, right? But it's there. It's inherent. It's an energy. So some of us have this natural, ability to connect with this big zeal. And some of us maybe are a little more cautious or conservative. But unless we start to understand the spiritual quality, because that's what we're really talking about. We're not just talking about the energy of zeal. That energy we understand. We can see it. It's the fire. It's the power. All of those kind of things. So we're here today to understand the spiritual quality of zeal. And for me, and I can't talk for you, I can talk for myself. I know that I've always had this big zest, and I can remember saying when I was like 18 or something, I want to experience everything that there is out there in the world to experience. I've always been this way. I have mellowed. But anyway, as I started on my spiritual journey, I was able to connect. And here is one of the things that I wanted to point out, because again, I want to focus on several different qualities here with Zeal, including the Bible, because we are a Christian-based community, and we understand that the Bible was a very important aspect. I mean, he did the metaphysical interpretation. Do not be slothful in zeal, but be burning in spirit, serving the Lord. So this is inviting us to let that zeal energy fill us. Serving the Lord. So now we're saying it's not enough to just to be, full of zeal and run about like, out of control, just going here and going there or doing those kind of things, but to harness this zeal, to harness this energy, and to bring it into being the best Christ nature I can be, to be able to ignite this zeal, this passion, in conjunction with the spiritual nature that I am. And so, in order for us to do that, I believe there are certain steps we have to take. And we already mentioned the first one. We have to become awake and aware. Awake and aware that we are spiritual beings and that we have this inherent quality within us. And then the second part of this step would be to listen to our life. I've said that before, I know, in another talk, but it's just so important to me. It's part of the spiritual journey, learning how to listen to my life, listen to where and what my heart is dictating. What is it pulling me for? What is the song that I want to sing? Even if it's a soft, gentle song at the moment that I can barely hear, connecting to my heart, listening, allows me to touch that place within me of desire. And I went out of sequence here, so I'm going to have to step into this one. Actually, I won't. I'll come back to that one. Desire, Emily Cady. Emily Cady explained desire as God tapping at the door of your mind, trying to give you greater good. Don't you love that idea? Desire is God tapping at the door of your mind, trying to give you greater good. So when I listen to what my heart is telling me, when I can listen to my life, when I can start to say, what is important to me? What do I value? What is bringing me joy? Am I doing those kind of things? That's actually connecting to the spiritual essence of who I am. And from that, I will be able to move into this flow of divine abundance, because zeal brings us abundance. When we open to our good, what happens? We start to be lifted, right? Just if we think about that, just the opening quality. When you've got something that opens, things rush in. A space gets filled. There is no place where there's an empty space. So as I open to what's moving within me and connecting to this quality of desire that is my Christ nature, it's the very essence of God, then I am inspired. And now we will go back to say, at 94, Charles Fillmore said this affirmation, and it's a popular one. You may or may not have heard of it. But he said, I fairly sizzle with zeal, energy, and enthusiasm, eager to do that which ought to be done by me today. 94, guys. 94, he was fairly sizzling with zeal. So, and I really believe that you can't do the kind of work that he did without having that motivation of zeal, because he was impassioned with exploring truth principles. It impassioned him. He did have that energy, that zeal. or he wouldn't have created the body of work that he did, and he wouldn't be leading us still today, over 100 years later, understanding this very nature of our spiritual being. And so we too can be tapping into this quality of zeal, so that if we find ourselves stuck, you know, saying, how do I do this? You know, I'm feeling down. Now, there's times in life when that happens for all of us. Even the big zeal, the person who's got this big energy of zeal. There are times when I have felt very down, where I have felt very quiet. I actually don't like it. I'm so in tune to the other energy that when I have this moments where I'm feeling very flat, I feel almost like a fish out of water. It's like, oh, this is awkward. But I listen to what is moving within me. I don't try to change it. I don't worry about it. I don't get fixated on what can I do, why is this happening, or any of those things. I listen, and then I allow what is happening to move within me. So we have our listening to our life, and then we have our transformation. We have our transformation. And so zeal is the inner motivated, constant, durable, persistent, and dependable, because it flows from the spiritual source within. So how do we connect with this further? One of the things that we want to do when we get to this place, like I said, something may be moving within me that's got me kind of off kilter. And, you know, I suppose if I go a little bit deeper, I can touch base with some things that may have set this in motion, I'm sure. But in the moment, what I'm really talking about is allowing ourselves to just be awake and aware, listening to what's coming and moving in our heart, to connect with our core, essence. Who am I? Who am I? What are letting that fire ignite. What are my strengths? What are my talents? Listening to what is motivating me, what is bringing me joy and pleasure. I can't get there with the busyness of my mind and the constant doing. The only way I can start to connect to the power of zeal or any of the spiritual qualities that we're talking about is to become still and to find that core within me and to just become quiet. Find that quiet center. When I find the quiet center, then I start the process of transformation from within. And I'm able to start to understand and look at what is it that is within me that needs that desire. Here, I can hear the desire, I can feel it. And then with this, allowing myself to find that core, find my purpose, to be at the calm center, listening, I'm then able to take the steps. Zeal has an ability at that point to the energy vibrates, right? That's what happens with energy. Energy vibrates. And I've talked about this before. Very, very low vibration, very low vibration. The wind is a higher vibration, right? We feel the wind. We don't see it. It's energy, right? We see what the wind does. We can feel the wind, but the wind is energy moving. Energy moving. In fact, that's the other thing that Charles Fillmore talks about with the power of zeal. He says that, and that's to me what is this whole burning flame, the inner flame within us, looking at all of the qualities that he's talking about, is that it is the zeal, it is the creative energy that motivates, that moves the wind, the storms, the tides, that creates this energy of life, that I want to get up and participate in life, that I want to be a part of a community. That's zeal. That's zeal. And I can have the crazy zeal that, and it doesn't mean that's not bad too. Sometimes we need to have the energy of lifting, right? Of being lifted as a group, of being inspired, of looking for creative new ideas. But the zeal must be tempered with the spiritual quality of connecting to that desire within my heart, knowing my purpose, having that calm center. It's coming from wisdom, the quality of wisdom that is one of the powers. It's not coming from up here. I'm not just responding, that way. And in the beginning of my life, when I didn't have a spiritual practice, that was the stuff that bounced me off the walls, for a good many years of my young adult life. And then I started to become grounded with my practice. And the beautiful part of it is now I can channel this energy. I can channel my zeal because I follow the guidance that comes from within, which is wisdom. And I connect to the energy in ways that lift me. So this is the inner motivated, constant, durable, persistent, and dependable quality of zeal. I can rely on it. I can rely on it because I've learned how to apply it in my life. So it's not just a concept. It's not just a concept. The ways that I apply it in my life are just the ones I shared with you. To listen to your life, listen to what's moving in your heart, connect to that quality of God within that expresses itself as desire. And we have to be still and quiet to hear that. We have to find our core, put that fire, that energy, that zeal into what it is that is our strength, our talent, our purpose, what motivates us, what inspires us, what gives us joy. When we're disconnected to that, we are not in the flow of zeal. We're not in the flow of abundance. We're not in the flow of our spiritual nature. These are all the qualities to connect us, to find that calm inner quiet so that this life force can be released within us, guiding us. I ignite my zeal by focusing on what brings me joy. So now that I've understood joy and I've learned how to do this practice to connect to that inner energy within me, understanding that it can be used in a way that like Simon the Zealot, when he was just really zealous about, revolution and changing things and, with violence, let's get rid of Rome. And then he became involved with the mission of Jesus, which was what? Love, peace, all of that. But he was there with a passion that didn't leave him, Simon the Zealot. And so when we focus on what brings us joy, but again, not from our head, from our heart, spiritual work is always moving from the head into the heart. Focus on what brings us joy. And then take the step into it. If it's singing, if it's walking in nature, there's a great slogan that says, move a muscle, change a thought, right? I don't know if anyone's heard of that. But basically, if you're finding yourself stuck and you've done this process, it will lift you to listen to what is calling you in joy and take that walk in nature. Pick up the phone. Remember, it's always work. Spiritual work works inside out. I want to feel loved. I want to feel connected. I pick up the phone. I reach out. I give to receive. I give to receive joy. Joy is not something that can come to me. Joy does not come to me. Joy comes from within me. Being. Joy is a quality of being. And I can't express spiritual qualities this way, pulling in. They only can come out. So what brings me joy comes from that heart's desire. And I step into it. I express it. And that's how I receive it. And so it is. Amen. Okay. Stacy will lead us in the meditation now. Oh my goodness. I'm used to this. So sorry, Sherry, thank you.
Let me get my little bowl up here. So thank you. Thank you, Ellen. That was zealous. That was a beautiful talk. Thank you. Very inspiring. So now let's go inward, as Ellen talked about, into our time of meditation. So I invite you to close your eyes, rest your hands comfortably in your lap. And I even invite you to open your palms and turn them upward, if that's comfortable for your hands. This is a beautiful gesture of receiving. And as we move inward to that place of divine stillness, we let ourselves focus on this word, zeal. We're not analyzing it, we're allowing the energy of the word to simply just arise and exist within us. And as I speak these words of guidance, let them be your words. Spirit of God, Christ in me, awaken, energize, and direct the faculty of zeal within my body and mind. I am motivated from within by divine zeal. I approach my life and affairs with enthusiasm, grace, perseverance, and patience. I am energized by divine zeal, guided and directed by the Christ within me. And sitting for a moment in silence. And now bringing your awareness back to this moment. Remembering that divine zeal lives within you. We can access it anytime, any place, and ask it to be guided by the Holy Christ within us. So be it, and so it is. Amen.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever.
Very so much for the yoga demonstration and the beautiful meditation. So, and now we're going to step into the next part of our service, which is another law of giving and receiving. And as I ask the ushers to come up, I also want to make an announcement that Melanie and Laura were talking about our 3G plan as part of our prosperity program. And in case you're not sure what that is, we rolled that out just last Sunday, and we've got a lot of different elements that are going on for this program. And the one I want to just tell you about right now is that we are going to be having small dinner gatherings. And I want to invite everyone. Every single person, I hope, will take advantage of this opportunity to come together and to sign up. We have 2 sign-up sheets there. We're going to start with 2 different opportunities to do this. The first is going to be Saturday, October 8th at 5 p.m., and that will be at Elaine's house. And I think there are like 10 openings for that. So what you need to do is just go and put your name if that's a date that works for you. And then the second opportunity is going to be on Saturday. They're both Saturday nights. Saturday, October 22nd, and that's going to be at 5 o'clock also. And that's going to be hosted by Pat Anderson and Andy. And so you have a sign-up sheet for that one as well. If we need more, we'll definitely get that rolling. We just wanted to start at least getting us going this way. But I want to emphasize how important this is. We're doing this prosperity program to shift our consciousness, to open to the flow of divine abundance here in our church. And for us to be successful in doing this, we need everybody to be engaged. And so again, I just want to emphasize how important it is that every single person participate. We're going to have the dinners, and then we're going to have a conversation. Remember what I just talked about with Zeal? And I said that what is touching our heart, that's the spiritual quality. We have to listen to our life, find our purpose, and that's what we're going to do in our conversations after the dinner. We're going to be looking at, what does Unity Church of Raleigh mean to me? What is moving in my heart? We are going to do our inner work that's necessary for transformation so that we open the gates for the manifestation of divine abundance. So sign up. So we know if we need to add more dinners, okay? And now we bring up our love offerings, again, understanding our spiritual principle that as we give, we receive. We're opening our channels here and now. And I'm inviting everybody to give generously. Give generously. This is the whole theme of as we roll into the end of our month. We had that started with our flow of divine abundance. And for those of you that are participating by visiting us online, You can press your donate button on the website, text to give, or simply mail a check directly here to the church. And now let's say our affirmation. Divine love flows through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. And now,
All right.
more music.
To get your zeal on now. We want you to lively up yourselves now. 1, 2, 3. Gonna lively up yourself and don't be no drag. Lively up yourself, 'cause reggae is another bag. Lively up yourself and don't say no. Lively up yourself, 'cause I say so. Rock on the rock soul, like you never did before. You dip so right through my door. You can't so. Oh yeah. You're gonna lively up yourself and don't say no. You lively up yourself, 'cause I just said so. Lively up yourself and don't be no drag. Lively up yourself, 'cause reggae is another bag. Oh, what you got that I don't know? Am I one to wonder? I don't wonder why you act so. Hey, good to hear what the man say. Lively up yourself in the morning time, yeah. Lively up yourself in the evening time. Come to take you away. Oh yeah, you're gonna lively up yourself and don't be no drag. Lively up yourself, 'cause reggae is another bag. Oh, you gonna lively up yourself, don't be no drag. Lively up yourself, 'cause reggae is another bag. All right. Oh.
Thank you, Greg and the band. Okay, lightening up ourselves. We know that's Zeal, and that was a zealous sound. Amen. Amen. All right, let's bring up our love offerings so that we can bless them, so that we can affirm through them that in us and through us we are an expression of the divine. We are an expression of Christ. And we bless these gifts that are so freely given that allow us to come together in this sacred space, to be a part of this fellowship, to be a part of this spiritual community, expressing love, coming together to study, to grow, to be inspired, to stand with each other, to laugh, to be filled with zeal and wisdom and love. And for this we are so very grateful, and so it is. Amen. Okay. And now we are going to have our platform person tell us what's going on.
Thanks again for coming out today, both you here and online. We're happy to have everybody joining us. And before we get into our events of the week, it's October 1st, 2nd, so it's birthday Sunday. Who has an October birthday? Okay, we got a few. You ready, guys?
Kevin's birthday is in October.
Okay, here we go. You gonna sing happy birthday?
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, October babies. Happy birthday to you. Boo, huh? So here's what's going on here. After the service to celebrate birthdays, we have a cake back there and some coffee. I hope you'll hang around a little bit, have some conversation. And then right after the service, I'm leading a workshop on Zeal to help us identify what turns us on, what gets us excited, what builds your enthusiasm. Sometimes we lose touch with that. And to really, excuse me, really appreciate what your gifts are, and we'll kind of explore that. I hope you'll join us. We have a light lunch today. Tuesday, we have the Spiritual Seekers Foundation group, which is led by Al Henderson, and that's at 11 o'clock on Tuesday morning. Wednesday, 10 a.m., Stacy will be back for the yoga class. Then if you're interested in growing the flow of abundance in your life, including money, Wednesday evening, Ellen is having a Zoom class on prosperity and abundance. It's based on Deepak Chopra's book, Abundance, The Inner Path to Wealth. It's not too late to join. Just sign up in the back so we know to look for you online and get you the connection. Thursday night at 7, the prayer ministry will be meeting online. And anyone is welcome to join that group. If you're interested in learning more about prayer, jump in and be one of us. Sign up for the October dinners. Ellen had mentioned those, and they're really going to be a fun time for us to just hang out together and be in someone's home. That's a nice, relaxing place, so we can have some nice conversation and remember why we're here, what's important to us. The core group is collecting warm coats for kids for this winter. We already have several right there. And so I hope if you have a coat that you realize you haven't worn it for a while, give it to us. We have kids that need to be warm and would like to help them out. So check your closet, get those winter clothes out and realize which ones you're not haven't been wearing, and give them to somebody who will really need them and enjoy them. Next Sunday, it's our monthly Vibe Up Yoga meditation with Stacy. She'll be doing the sound bath and a combination of things. The whole experience is $25. That includes the sound bath. Or $35 for the whole experience, $25 for the sound bath. So I hope you'll come join us for that. All the activities are available on the website, unitychurchofraleigh.com. Then we can look at other activities that are going on at the Wellness Center. Next Saturday, the Holistic Wellness Center workshop is on nature, art, and the evolution of selfhood with Wendy Esro. It's part of a series and look at different themes in nature. She's an excellent photographer and has done a lot of work in taking pictures and expressing feelings about nature. She's going to be doing a series of these, and the first one is on the significance of butterflies, and it includes a discussion, some painting, journaling, and sharing, so this will be a nice variety of things to touch base with. On the 15th, we have another EFT tapping experience related to food cravings. So trying to find ways to get ready for the holidays before the holidays get ready for us, huh? Larry Burke will be doing that, and he's a delightful leader. Fees for registration, visit unitychurchofwellness.org to find out what's going on and sign up for various programs. Also, if you want to pay at the door, you can just let Mary or Nancy Smith know that you're planning to come, so she'll have your head count there and you can pay at the door, just to let us know. Now after the service, we need your help to have you gently lift and stack the chairs in groups of 3, and we'll bringing out dollies so we can move them back over to the side and get them out of the way for Stacy. And the Tai Chi classes as well. So we've got 2 classes that are using our space, which we're excited about. We appreciate your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Lots going on, big energy. Okay, lots of zeal. And now let's do our prayer for protection. No, we'll do the prayer of protection, then stand, right? The light of God surrounds us. Sorry about that. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. And now we'll stand and sing.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, united all are we. Yes, we love with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyful vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
Let's just drop into that heart center and listen to what is moving within us, knowing that we can lift ourselves up in zeal at any moment we choose. And so it is. Amen.